Hi Year 9, here is the exercise 7a that I asked you to do. So the first question says the product of 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is called the something or something form of 81. Let's have a look. Here's the key ideas. What do you see there? Expanded form. Alright, let's have a look. The product of 3 times 3 times 3 is called the expanded or something form of 81. So expanded form of 81. Otherwise it's called the, let's have another look, index form. Is that right? Yeah, that looks good to me. Index. Next one. 3 to the power of 4 is called the index form of 81. 3 to the power of 4 reads 3 to the power of 4. That's the way we say it. 3 to the power of 4 is the special name for the 3 is the something number. What's the 3? The 3 is the base, isn't it? Goodness. Right, and 3 to the power of 4, the special name for the 4 is the index, or sometimes the exponential. Let's have a look at that. Key ideas again. Yeah, index. The Americans call it exponential, so I was just letting you know that, and we do exponentials a little bit later on. You just need to know their indexes. Okay, a something number has only 2 factors, itself and 1. Hopefully this little number down here helps you. Hopefully you remember that's a prime. Now that is on the other key ideas, which was this one. There you go. Oh, there we go. 2 to the 2 reads 2 to the power of 2. Beautiful. Alright, and prime factorization involves writing a number as a product of its prime factors. Remember those good old factor trees from year 7? No, everybody says. Alright, let's try this one. Prime factorization involves writing a number as a product of its, we just read that, prime factors. They were all in the key ideas box. Okay, 2. Use the information outlined in the key ideas to copy and complete the table below. Okay, 3 to the power of 4, which one is the base? Hopefully you said 3. Which one is the index? Hopefully you said 4. How do we write that in expanded form? Well, you write the base out according to the number that's in the index. So we write the 3 out 4 times, and you just put multiplications. And what's the basic numeral? So you can do that on your calculator. 3, your power key will be either an X with a little box in the top right corner, or it could be 3 with a an X with a Y in the top right corner if you've got a sharp. So 3 to the power of 4 is 81, which we just did in the example, didn't we? Alright, I'll try the next one because it's a little bit different, and you can try some of the others. So 5 is the base. The 2 is the index. What does 5 squared mean? That means 5 times 5. And what's 5 5s? Hopefully you said 25. Alright, next one. 2 to the power of 5. 2 is the base this time. 5 is the index, so we write the 2 out 5 times this time. Either use your calculator or your head. What's 2 times 2? Hopefully you said 4. So then 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. And 16 times 2 is 32, isn't it? Check it on our calculator. 2 x to the power of box 5 equals 32. Good. Alright, sometimes you can get it in fraction form, and even with negatives it means the same thing, okay? 2/3 becomes the base. 3 becomes the index. So that means I write 2/3 out 3 times. Now you can either do that in a calculator. Mine's in stat mode. I'm going to get out of stat mode. 2 over 3 arrow across times fraction key 2 over 3 arrow across times fraction key 2 over 3 equals, that's 8 over 27. And if you remember anything from fractions, you multiply all the top numbers together. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 gives you 8. And then 3 times 3 is 9. And then 9 times 3 gives you 27. Okay? And last but not least, you may have negatives. That means the base is the negative 3. The index is 3. So that means you write out negative 3 times, and we're multiplying. What's a negative times a negative? Positive. 3 times 3 is 9. And now, what's a positive times a negative? Hopefully you said negative. And 3 times 9 is 27. So in your calculator you might have to put it in exactly like that. So brackets, press the negative, you might have a plus minus key or just a negative in brackets like me. Press the 3, so negative 3, close your brackets, X to the box. Sometimes it's like an arrow pointing upwards if you haven't got any of those other keys. And then to the power of 3 means I press a 3, press equals, I get negative 27. Okay, so that's how you do that one. Now for this one, I'm just going to do the first column. You can have a go at the second column. Question 3 says, write the number or pronumeral that is the base. Okay, so the base are these numbers, aren't they? So this one's 3, this one is 2/3. Question 4, write the number that is the index. So the index is the little number in the top right position. So this one is a 3, this one is 11. Can you make sure you go and have a go at least 2 more of each of those for me? Alright, question 5, write the prime factors of these numbers. Alright, so I'm running out of room here. Let's see if I've got a bit of room. Oh, down here, I'll do it down here. In fact, you know what I will do? Sorry, I will. Come on. No, it's not going to let me. Let me see. I'm just going to make that a bit smaller. There we go. And I might be able to get some thingies in now. Oh, my neck keeps cracking. Okay, so 6. I'm only going to do, I might do this one. And then I might do, no, I might leave you to do 30 and then I'll do 77. Alright, so here we go. Let's do 5 over here. So 5A is 15. So you start with 15 and you put your little arrows going down and you say to yourself, what times what gives me 15? 3 times 5 gives me 15. Okay, and then you say to yourself, right, can I reduce 3 and 5 down by anything else? Not 1. So 3 can only be 3 times 1 and 5 can only be 5 times 1. So I can't actually reduce it down to anything other than 1 times 3 or 1 times 5. If I can't go any further, I leave it as 3 times 5, and that is my answer. The prime factors of 15 therefore are 3 times 5. Now I'm actually going to do 30 because that one was a bit of an easy one. So I'm going to do 30 now. 77 you can probably do on your own. It's actually going to be a little bit like that one. Alright, so C. Let's try C. If you have 30, what times what gives you 30? Now anything but 1 times, okay? So you could have done 3 times 10. You could have done 6 times 5. I'm going to do 3 times 10. Okay, now 3, all I can do is 3 times 1 to get 3. But 10, I can do what times what to give me 10. Hopefully you said 2 times 5. Now the only way to get 2 is to do 2 times 1. And the only way to do 5 is to do 5 times 1. So if I write them all out now, 30 as a multiplication of its prime factors is 3 times 2 times 5. So when the question says write the prime factors, then you write them all out in that multiplication form, just like that. Okay, question number 6 now. There's the example, writing in expanded form. Just wants us to write all of these in expanded form. So let's have a go at a couple. Can you try that column for me? And I'll try and do a couple of the others. So let's do 6A. 6A in expanded form is 4 to the power of 3. So what's the base number? It's 4. And this number is telling me how many times to write it. So it's telling me to write it out 3 more times. That's my answer. Okay, I'll do D now. Well, I won't do D because it's exactly the same. You just write down the 5 and you do it 3 times. X to the power of 3 for G means I write the base X 3 times because that's a 3, and I just put times's in. I, no it's not, it's J, isn't it? And it says 3y all to the power of, something different, 3. Now what's inside the brackets? Because that's all of the base. 3y. So you need to write down 3y 3 times and put times in between. Okay? M is -3, -3, S 3, T squared. Okay, so that's a number on its own. In between each letter and number there are timeses. So here I have an S. So how many S's do I have to write down? Look at the number in the top right corner. I have to write 3. How many T's do I write down? Look at the number in the top corner. I have to write 2. So in the end, my answer is -3 times S times S times S times T times T. That's how I expand. Okay, when you're ready, have a go at 7. I'm going to do these ones for you. Can you have a go at these ones? Let's have a look at the example. So 7 is asking us to write each of the following in expanded form and then evaluate. So you've got to find the answer. That's what evaluate means in maths. Alright, so 7a says 6 squared. Now let's see, it said expand them first and then evaluate. So I've got to write out 6 twice. What's 6 times 6? 36. Well done. Next one, E says -2 all cubed, I believe. Yep. So that means I write -2 out 3 times and I put a times in between. So let's do these two first. What's a negative times a negative? Positive. 2 times 2? 4. Now do these two together. What's a positive times a negative? It's a negative. What's 4 times 2? It's 8. Now remember, you could have also done that on your calculator to double check. Open brackets, press the plus minus or just the negative key, press the 2, close the brackets, press X to the box or X to the power of Y, and then 3, and I get -8. Was that the answer that we got? Yes, it was. Next one is I, 2/3 to the power of 3. So that means write the 2/3 3 times, put a times in between, multiply the top numbers. 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 2 gives 8. I think we already did this one, didn't we? 3 times 3 is 9, and then 9 times 3 gives 27. And last but not least, M says 2 over -3 to the power of 3. So that means write 2 to the -3, 2 over -3, 3 times. Now we already know from this one what 2 times 2 times 2 is, don't we? And we already know from that one what 3 times 3 times 3 is, don't we? So the numbers stay the same. We've just got to go a negative and a negative gives a positive, and a positive times a negative gives a negative. So you could have done it on the calculator if you wanted. Brackets, fraction key, or if you've got a sharp, you do 2, then the fraction key, then arrow down if you've got a Casio, then a negative, and then a 3, arrow across, close the brackets, press your index key, X to the power of Y or X to the power of box, to the 3, press a 3, and you get equals 8 over negative 27 or negative 8 over 27. That doesn't make any difference. Okay, that's the end of my video. If I have time, I'll make another one. Thanks, see you tomorrow.